left wing is a senior from River Falls, Wisconsin, number 23, Casey Jerry. At center for the Golden Griffins is a freshman from Thorold, Ontario, number 27, Ryan Minato. And at right wing, the junior from Livonia, Michigan, number 83, Austin Alger. On defense for Canisius, the junior from South Lyon, Michigan, number 4, Logan Destro. And at right defense, the junior from Parkridge, Illinois, number 52, Blake Guerra. Starting in the goal for Canisius, the sophomore from Gainesville, New York, number 33, Matt Ladd. The rest of the Golden Griffins, their head coach is Trevor Large. He's assisted by Mark Lincoln and Taylor Nelson. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for the Engineers of RPI. Leading in
to start off the season. 532 save percentage, and they're led by Tristan Ashbrook, who I believe has over a 60% face-off percentage.
Yeah, good on the draw so far for the Engineers this season. We're looking to continue that here today. Face-off in the RPI zone, far side to the right of Owen Savory, ECAC hockey, all-rookie goaltender last year. Wrapped around behind the goal, this is Miato. He's watched by Ferner in the near corner of the RPI end. A couple more come over to help out. Casey Jerry, one of them, is senior from River Falls, Wisconsin. As Joe mentioned, that is Billy's older brother. Puck back to the point and past the D-man, Wareham. He'll turn back towards his own end. Blake Wareham, junior out of Park Ridge, Illinois. My mom's hometown. They wave off the icing here. Turned around by Jerry behind the goal. Ferner, D to D, finding Babachuk. Sat one out. Babachuk making his second appearance here. Or two out, rather. Now Polino into the zone. Little drop pass. Laka trying to backhand it behind the goal. He's wrapped up by three. Golden Griffins, a shot and a save made by Ladd. Another try by Polino, and this kick to the corner. Two big chances there. But Matt Ladd made the stop on both of them. Out of the corner, Ashbrook trying to play it back to the point, deflects out to center ice. And it's regathered there by Kjellberg. 4 points in two games, I should say, for Kjellberg. Narrows a shot the other way. Held on to easily on the attempt. I think that was Scherer. Was it Scherer? Yeah, it was. The Brown University transfer, Will Scherer.
Yeah, and I think the Golden Griffins are just happy to get the puck out of their zone after a beautiful scoring chance from the Engineers. Laka was able to take the puck from three guys and center it for a nice shot, and Ashbrook actually was able to get a nice screen on the shot.
Cleared off the glass and all the way down ice. This will probably be icing again. Two early icing calls against the Engineers. Haven't cost them yet because of their face-off winning abilities. RPI on the season, this would be unheard of for them. They're right now at 55.9% as a team.
Yeah, very, very impressive, and a lot of it's freshmen.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's what's so impressive about it.
Dubinsky and Ashbrook, yeah.
Yeah, and Billy Jerry not doing too bad himself either. Also over 50%.
I'd like to see that when all your centermen are over 50%. That's when you really know you're doing a good job as a team. Here's a wrist shot coming through traffic, picked up on the near side by Lockett, never got to goal. Bouncing puck out at center. Wareham's got it, shoots it off the near boards in front of the RPI bench. Poked along there by Johnson. Turned back around by the Golden Griffins to get it to the RPI line, far side, and move it in. Jake Johnson there, sophomore from Bloomington, Minnesota. Ahead for Ashbrook, return feed for Johnson. Cross ice, far side. It's Hallbauer to the near side for Laka, and Jacob Laka will ring it in. Sophomore out of Bratislava, Slovakia. Wrapped behind the goal to the near side. Chasing it down is Lepnin, throws it towards goal, gets a redirect from Ashbrook, goes wide off the base of the net. Pass back to the point, and Babachuk Bear was off ice, so he has to jump in on the play now. RPI completes a change. Here's Dubinsky into the zone. Scored a real nice goal against UMass. Game number 1 of the year. Still loose on the side as he took the shot, and it'll be carried on behind by Simon Gravel. And now we get a whistle here and a penalty.
It might be a trip,
yeah,
but it's a
they're calling a hook. Yeah, they're calling a hook. It's going to go on the Engineers.
So Engineers lead after 2.5 minutes, and the shots on goal 3-1. It's going to be Lepinin going to the box for RPI. But I really like that after just a couple minutes of play here, RPI is going down on the penalty kill right now, but they seem more energized than they did last night, and that's good. After a rough defeat, you want your team to respond in a positive way and not a negative one as they clear it down the ice.
Wrapped all the way down. It'll be left alone behind the goal by the Ladd, and then the power play will start up here. Golden Griffins are 0 for on the year, and that's not a good way to start the power play, but I think 3 guys were offside there as Hutchison tried to bring it in.
Yeah, he actually came and smashed right into his own guy.
Well, that's not how you want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, he crashed into Martin trying to enter the zone. So this will come back out to neutral ice.
Canisius 0 for 8 on the year on the power play. Engineers penalty kill now at 85.7%, 6 of 7 killed. For what it's worth, it's second best among ECAC hockey teams, but that's not including half the league. Ivies haven't started yet. But still, a good early number. You want that to go up, obviously, but it's already better than last year. at this small sample size. Savory, well, dancing with the puck behind the goal, gives it away. It comes free to the near corner, and luckily nothing came of that. As the power play continues, Engineers are able to clear it down. Back behind the goal, it's Ladd to play. 18th career game for Matt Ladd, the sophomore. 4-8-2 overall record, a .350 goals against, and an .896 save percentage. So RPI should be able to score a few tonight, especially the way they've been putting them in so far early on this year. Canisius sets up on the power play. Near side, Algier holding, back up top, and out to the far side. Turning with it at the bottom of the circle, and now back to the center blue line. This is Hamlin. Back down low they go, they'll wrap it around. It'll be kept in at the blue line momentarily. Good play by Ashbrook. Is Alger, a bigger pardon, who had that shot, and now gathered in here by Alger. To the slot, a shot, no, rebound. Jam try, and it's kicked out by Savory. Back to the point. Wrist shot coming, tipped over the top and into the netting, as it was Graval who got there.
And with 13 seconds left here on the penalty kill for the Engineers, I'm really noticing Owen Savory being extremely vocal in terms of talking to his defensemen, telling them where he wants them and what screens to look out for. So that's what you want to see from your sophomore netminder coming off an all-rookie campaign. He's growing in the leadership department as well.
13 seconds left on the penalty to Lepinin for hooking. Shots are now even at 3 apiece. As it's won by the Engineers and cleared down ice. That should just about do it for the power play. Canisius will break to center. Miato gets it into the zone near side, trying to walk around Bear out of the box. Engineers 1-for-1 on the kill. We're scoreless, 4.5 into the game. Working far side, it's number 91, Hutchison. Now back to the near half wall. Golden Griffins keep it in. And play on the far side by Will Riley, senior captain out of Toronto, Ontario. Now Jake Morello, local product from Slingerlands, playing his first game of the season. He's a senior. Off the stick of Jerry, the Engineers are offside. Good poke check at the line there. I think that was that number 4? That was Jestro? I think so.
Well, the Engineers look at a change here. 15:02 to go in the first period. Still scoreless.
Yeah, good play by Logan Gestro out of South Lyon, Michigan. You know, a lot of guys who played for Corpus Christi, the Ice Rays, out of the NAHL. I hadn't heard much about that junior team until prep for this one. 15 minutes to go in the opening period, and now Tour Linden gets tossed from the dot, forcing Tommy Lee in there. Lee had a strong showing in the exhibition game, and he gets his second real game of the year here. Good breakup at center ice, but now Canisius goes back the other way, 3-on-1. Walking in, a centering feed, and they score. Matt Long with his first goal of the year, the junior from Orland Park, Illinois.
Yeah, and I think the Engineers kind of tripped themselves up there. They got a bit aggressive in the neutral zone, and so the Griffins were able to come back with a 3-on-1, and not much you can do there if you're the defender or the goaltender. So now we'll see how the Engineers bounce back, but a good job from the Golden Griffins to capitalize on a good scoring opportunity. You don't get many 3-on-1s in college hockey.
So an even strength goal here for Canisius. Now back comes Dubinsky, trying to toe the line was Lepinin, he did. RPI trails again. For the third time in 4 games, they allow the first goal. The only time they scored the first one was against UMass in the season opener. Lifted up the glass and all the way down the ice. Will this be icing? Puck's on edge. And that helps it all the way down.
So another icing here for RPI. And again, we'll see how they can come back from a quick deficit. They responded pretty well against UConn. the first time they played them, but obviously they did not respond too well last night. So we'll see what happens this time.
Face off here, tip to the corner. Ferner behind for Babichuk, and the freshman from Edmonton will work it up the near side. That's turned around in a hurry. Now Savory's behind his own goal. He'll wrap it near side, kept it at the blue line. Shot comes in, hit a leg, and be picked up by Dubinsky. Lifting it along and turned back the other direction. The Engineers are turning the puck over in the neutral zone right now, sometimes even in their own end, and it's causing problems. Turned into that 3-on-1 that we saw. As they're getting a little bit too aggressive, maybe trying to enter the zone, and it backfired. And the Griffs were able to score off of it. Here's Ashbrook to ring it in. To the far side it goes. Sticking a foot into the play was Laka. Now good strong play by Gornell. Back to the point. Shellberg. Far point Riley. He'll fire one. It looked like it was headed wide, but Ladd will hold it anyway. And he'll get a whistle. 13:23 on the clock. First period, 1-0 Canisius leading.
And, you know, RPI plays their best when they stay simple. They get their passes simple, tape to tape. They don't try pinching in from the neutral zone. They keep it nice and basic. And so and that's how they were able to get that opportunity there. Simple dump in. Gornell forces a turnover behind the net, swings it out to the point, and then the Engineers are able to get a shot off with a screen in front. So that's really what you want to do if you're RPI. You want to you don't need to make it all fancy. You can just stick to the basics.
So the Engineers find themselves down again, but plenty of opportunity to rebound here. It is family weekend, so we're expecting another big crowd here tonight. It was, I think, 2588 yesterday, which a little bit lower than I thought, but it looks like there's a better showing turnout here on Saturday.
Yeah, I guess the parents figured out got some
go to one game, right?
Yeah, they want to go to the.
If you could only go to one game, I guess Saturday night's the one. All right, so after this, I guess it was a media stoppage we were in. Explain the length of it. But got to cut those turnovers down, Joe.
Yeah, agreed. Again, like I said, you don't want to make lazy passes, especially in your own end or in the neutral zone, because that'll lead to odd man rushes the other way. Coach
Smith said yesterday in the post game that you can't make the ice 160 feet too often for the other team, and that's what the Engineers were doing. Or have been doing early on. Plenty of time to turn it around. Here's Ashbrook moving in. Handed off to Gornell. Turned back over. And moved up ice. This is Gestro. And we got a penalty coming up here. It's on Canisius. So the Engineers are going to go on the power play. Is that a rough? I think it is.
I didn't see the particular penalty, but I did see Mike Gornell, after turning the puck over in his own end, went flying back on the back check, and that's what you want to see from a senior leader on the team.
Matt Long's in the box, the goal scorer.
Canisius penalty to number 25, Matt Long. Indices took it for time of that penalty.
I didn't hear what the penalty was. This shot all the way down. As it's going to be picked up by Babichuk. It is roughing. Okay, that's what I thought. First power play for RPI. 30% on the year, even 3 out of 10. More easy math for me, Joe. Wrapped in. Here's Lepinen. Sent back to the top of the circle. A wrist shot by Zeke, and that one caught the handle of the stick. Of Todd. Woof.
Yeah, and this week, actually, we got to listen to Dave Smith on the radio talking about Chase Zeke's shot, and it's a perfect example of it. Just an absolute wicked wrister from the circle.
Draw here to the left to Todd. Clean win back to Babichuk. Across Riley, a drive, and Ladd makes the stop.
So the Engineers getting a nice response here on their first power play.
A couple of early shots on it.
And they're strong shots. They're not little dabbling shots falling towards the net. They're really, really strong shots.
Face off here, push behind the Canisius goal around to the near side. Can they keep it in? Great play by Babichuk. Far side connection. This is Zeke. 2 goals, 2 assists in 3 games for the Engineers so far. Now Lepinen across Riley. Wrist shot coming. That one's blocked by Gestro. And a clearing effort. Babachuk just keeps it in, and he spins it up the wall through his own legs. Great keep again. Here's Riley. Near side wall, Polino holding. Sends it across, and Zeke lost an edge and spins on out to center. Now they can't touch it. Might be icing here. Well, they wave it off. As it'll be cleared out by the Golden Griffins all the way down. 45 to go on the power play. Savory will start things out here. Hand it off. 1-0 Canisius. Shots are 6-4 Engineers. Lee moving in. Lee, a shot goes way wide behind the goal. Carry him to the far half wall. Spun back in by Laka. Pinching in is Bear, but it comes out to center ice. Mastro Donato walking in. Short-handed. Oh, a kick saved by Savory. He denied the scoring chance, and now back the other way. 3-on-2. Hallbauer. There's a poke check. Picked up by Laka. Laka, shot in the glove, saved by Ladd. Oh my, back-to-back action here. A short-handed chance for the Griffs, and then RPI nearly tied the game.
Yeah, and another 3-1 rush for them there. Shane Baird, he jumped up on the play to pinch in and he tried to make a play on the puck, but I think it was moving too fast, and it got by him, so there was no one there at the blue line besides Hallbauer, who's in the center, to defend there, and the Golden Griffins almost took advantage again. Owen Savory keeps it out of the net.
9 to go in the power play. Slap shot coming. Ladd a save. Rebound. They score! Brady Further with his first of the year. And it might have got it in before the power play. As he puts it home, the Dakota News, South Dakota native ties it up.
Yeah, Brady Furtick grabbing the juicy rebound to put it in the air. There was daylight in the cage, and he was excited to put that one in with a little celebration. So RPI responds, ties it back up 1-1 after a brief scare, which they could have ended with a short-handed goal, but Owen Savory saves them again.
I think it came 2 seconds after the penalty ended, so an even strength goal, but Joe, essentially a power play goal.
For all intents and purposes.
There you go. 1-1 game. Morello trying to center. There's a broken stick out there. It was Jerry's as he heads off to the bench. Now a 3-on-3 into the RPI zone. Hit behind the goal by Hutchison. And now moved on out by Riley on the carry. Near side. Trying to walk around one too many. Wareham stood him up, and then it's cleared back down ice. Savory wants a whistle, and he gets it here. Furner's third career goal. Scored his first career goal last year against UConn, but here he scores one a bit earlier in the season. I think it was December before Furner found the back of the net for the Engineers. Now it's in October. You like to see that from the sophomore. Yeah,
and Furner, he's a bit of a two-way defenseman. Normally we talk about two-way forwards, but Furner's really a two-way defenseman. He's really strong on the defensive end, and he has some offense to his game, as you can see here. He's clearly worked on it in the offseason.
Puck around far side, moving out to center, 2-on-2. Lappinen with Zeke, and they're offside.
Close, tight whistle there for Zeke and Lappinen. It looked like they were skating right next to each other, but I guess the puck did not get in quick enough. 10:15 to go here in the first. Shots for RPI, 9-5 for Canisius. But Canisius does have 2 3-on-1 opportunities. They were able to capitalize on one.
Face off at center ice. Babachuk moves it in. Babachuk is not the biggest defenseman, but he plays big and he's good on the puck. We saw it in not only the exhibition, but the opener against UMass. Here's Laka. Turns it around for Gornell. Moving in the near side. One hands it into the zone. Broken up. It falls right to Laka. Now down low. Ashbrook back to the point. Good handle by Hallbauer. A wrist shot through traffic, and that one's kicked away. Maybe the right blocker of Ladd as it wraps to the far corner. Matt Long there for the Griffs, and he'll lift it out to center ice. Played there by Ashbrook. Back to the defenseman. Hallbauer is looking for his first points of this season. Engineers get it deep. Ashbrook chasing. As it'll be played far side now. Hit thrown there by Lee to separate his man from the puck, and now he digs at it with Steve. Now Lee goes into it again to the near corner, this time against Meloragni. Meloragni will spin it behind the goal. And now Steve again. Mastro Donato into the RPI zone, pulls up. Miato across, wrist shot coming. That one hit something in front. Savory looking both ways. Wareham all the way down below the dots, loses it out to Hallbauer, who clears the center ice. Carried on further, moved in deep by Linden with the Engineers. Morello's down low with it. Battling with Wareham. Pops free to the far side. Moved out by Alger. He'll fire in. To the near side now, Dubinsky threw into the skates of Riley, who just fights it off out to center ice. Now Dubinsky again on it near side. Circle. Dubinsky around the net, trying to center. Good sliding break up there by Earn. Lincoln Earn, the freshman out of Blaine, Minnesota. Got his hands down low with the stick and broke up the centering feed. Now carried behind by Hamlin. Center ice connection. Flung to the near side. Mitchell Matan. Dump back in. It'll be chased down by Hutchison. And it skips through him. It'll be Bear to play at the wall for Zeke. 7:40 left in the first period. 1-1 RPI and Canisius. As Zeke lost the handle in the offensive zone, Earn throws it out to center. Billy Jerry plays it back to Babichuk. And now here's Ferner, the goal scorer for RPI. Into the skates of Jerry, kick deep. Earn the first one there. He's wrapped up by Billy Jerry. And then Jerry out of the corner. Back to the point, a shot coming, and it goes wide off the stick of Babichuk. And it'll be turned around by the Golden Griffins, picked off by Babichuk, but he moved in from an offside position, so they'll have to touch up. Leaves the puck there, so we play on. Dumped in by Canisius, and now picked up by Babichuk. Stolen away behind the goal. Graval, Steve. Tiptoes along the blue line, now moves near side. Steve centering pass all the way through. Good tie-up by Ferner. Had his man all wrapped up in front of the net. Couldn't get his stick down. Picks it up on the other side, centering feet. Broken up again by the Engineers, and now Babichuk trying to clear it out near side. That doesn't work. Lap it in the corner. Lapide, excuse me. And now it'll be Master Donato, top of the circle. Fires, that one was blocked, I think by Bear, and the Engineers move it on out to center ice. Right onto the tape of Lapide, and they'll turn it around. Sure, dumping in. Ferner back to get it as we approach 6 minutes to go in the first period. A 1-1 game. There's a man wide open in front. It was Miato. They couldn't find him. And now Laka ahead for Burgess. Burgess trying to turn the corner. Burgess to the net. Backhand, he scores! Scores his first of the season and gives the Engineers a 2-1 lead.
Todd Burgess, an absolute man on that play there. Just power skating, power forward, pulling his way down the ice and making a strong move there to backhand it into the net.
So Burgess scores his first goal of the season. Give RPI a lead here.
Burgess,
yeah, go ahead.
Burgess listed at 6'2", 175, so certainly a power forward here. As we get another interception, Lee sends it over the net.
Yeah, that was a good chance there by Lee. Now in the near corner, Johnson behind the goal. Tommy Lee snaps it over into the skates of Burgess. Couldn't quite corral it. It'll be moved out by Mella Ragni. That one goes high in the air, where it will come down in the crowd. And a neutralized draw. 5:22 on the clock. We get a stoppage here. And they're going to take an immediate timeout. I'm not sure. Shots are 10-6 Engineers, and now have the lead by a 2-1 score.
Yeah, capitalizing on those opportunities and also learning from their mistakes there. Jake Johnson had the opportunity to kind of jump up in the play in the neutral zone on that last sequence, and instead elected to kind of stay back, make a little swat at the puck, but make sure that no one was behind him and that no odd man rush could happen again, because they gave up way too many of them in the beginning goings of the game. Another thing to notice is you mentioned Corey Babichuk playing bigger than his size. He's listed at about 5'10", 175, and he's also on that power play we saw. He's like a human safety net, stopping, jumping up and pulling pucks down at the blue line, keeping them in. So that's a high hockey IQ, and that's a guy that studies the game. He knows where the puck's going, and he's able to play to his strengths. Ferner gets his second point of the night here with an assist on that Burgess goal.
Neutralized draw here. Kjellberg kind of fanned on the first pass, got a second crack at it, and found Zeke, who gave it back to him. This will be worked all the way down. They wave off the icing. Will Scher around to the far near side, and now all the way down ice. Picked up there by Riley, and he'll turn it around. Ahead for Lepinen. Moving in, looking for the short side shot was Dubinsky. And now it picks it up behind the cage, throws it in front. Zeke was ready to slam one home, but it was intercepted and moved out by the Golden Griffins. Now Hutchison trying to make a move on Riley, stands him right up and dumps him behind the goal. Now Kjellberg up the wall for Zeke, trying to clear, does off the boards and down ice. Chasing it down is Wareham. Looking for his first collegiate point. He didn't have a point in 23 games last season for Canisius. On the blue line, Wareham moves it ahead as Miato was lined up by Riley, who then goes off on a change. It'll be played up the far side wall. And in deep, Engineers pick it up on their own end. Ferner, Gornell now at the half wall. Chance to break here if they hurry. Up the boards for Ashbrook, far side. Couple Engineers going to the net. Spin move, Ashbrook drops it off. Shot and a save. It was Laka who took that drop pass. Good bit of creativity there from Ashbrook as he created an opportunity for his teammate about 5-6 feet outside the goal.
Yeah, and Tristan Ashbrook showing what he brings to the table here with a bag full of tricks, and it looked like he maybe was trying to do a spinorama move to get the shot off, but instead elects to kind of do like a drop pass.
It was like a half spin.
A forward with a forehand pass. So little niftiness there, and he also again that's the second time I've seen him go out of his way to put a screen in front of the net. So just a very well-grounded hockey player.
That was a good play.
And another thing I noticed on a play from a couple minutes ago, Tommy Lee, known for being a real bruiser, a real guy that likes to kind of lay the big hit, especially on the forecheck. When he forced a turnover and he looked like he was going to go barreling into the guy, but instead he focused on the puck. He eased up and focused on the puck and was able to kind of maybe scare the guy, give him a little bit of a footsteps, as they say in some sports. Got the turnover and was able to force a good scoring chance. So Tommy Lee growing as a sophomore here in his second season.
Face off in the Canisius zone, won by the Golden Griffins. They go behind the goal with it. It's part of the far side. Steve takes a hard hit there from Ashbrook. All the way to the RPI zone it goes. Here's Ferner. Got RPI's scoring started in this one. This was tipped deep, so no icing. Race for the puck. Laka's going to get there. Trying to throw it out in front. Went through the top of the crease. All the way to the near side. Babachuk pinching in. To the point. Here's Gornell. He wrists one. That hit bodies. And turned around quickly by Canisius. They have numbers now. Far side carry. It's a 3-on-2, but the pass comes all the way through Mastrodonato. And a shot comes in wide from the top of the far circle. That from Lapide. Dumped back in by Canisius, far side. It's Lee Lapide, sophomore from Mississauga, Ontario. Lost the puck and now trying to break out through center is Laka, but he's at the end of a shift. Kind of a haphazard dump-in try, but Canisius will take over in its own zone. Here's Scher. As I mentioned, he's familiar with these Engineers. He played at Brown. He's now a senior out of St. Charles, Missouri. Now down the middle. That one hops off of a leg into the far corner. Jerry putting the pressure on. That being RPI's Jerry. And now Hallbauer at the point. Keeps it in. He'll flip it back below the goal line. Picked up there by Hamlin. He'll try the far side on the clear. David Baskerville, sophomore from Buffalo. Hometown kid playing for Canisius. Shot comes in. That's off the glove of Savory. He didn't hold it. all the way through the near corner. Morello plays it behind for Johnson, and now Halbauer again, sophomore Howell, New Jersey, works it up the far boards. Canisius takes over in the neutral zone. J.D. Pogue lost out there. Halbauer moving in near side. Jerry elects to dump in and get a change. All 5 RPI Engineers with 2 minutes to go in the first. Shots are 12-7 RPI. They lead 2-1. Off the wall, it's Hutchison. 81 points in 111 games for Hutchison. A solid career for the senior from Hicksville, New York. And here's an icing call against Canisius.
I believe that's the first icing call going against them on the night. The Engineers had their plethora at the beginning of the game, but they've since calmed down on the icings, and now Canisius gives one up.
Face-off coming up in the Canisius zone. Dubinsky in there to take it. He, one of the young face-off men for RPI, has done a great job early in the season, and again is a win for the Engineers. Schellberger wrister, he'll throw it off the end wall intentionally. Back to Zeke, now to the point. Schellberg again firing wide, same spot, same result, goes behind the goal. It'll be Melaragny up the near side. And they dump it in, wrapped around to the far side corner. Hutchison trying to make a move. He gets run into by Schellberg. And then Hutchison back to the point. Shot comes. It's blocked down in front of the crease. There's a big pile up there. Player on top of Saver. They're gonna get Riley for hooking, I think. Somebody got called for hooking. They were tied up with Hutchison right on top of the crease, and it ended up both of them toppling into Savory. And there's going to be a penalty on the Engineers here. And
Riley not too happy about that, shaking his head as he goes into the box. So the Engineers are going to have to kill off a penalty here with 1:11 to go in the first. So some of this is going to carry over into the second.
Engineers hope.
Engineers were to kill off the first minute plus.
Minute 11 in the period. And another power play for Canisius. They're 0 for 1. Algier shot looking for the redirect and got it, but it was blocked as Lapide got his stick in a good spot in front of the goal. Just never got to Savory or the net. Back to the far point now near side. Hamlin hops over his stick out to center. And Canisius will have to reset there. Quickly moved back in by Melaragny. And now back to the point. Near side, that one skips by the intended target. That was Alger. And all the way down ice. Alger played at Miami before coming here, one of the 2 transfers for these Golden Griffins. This is a ringer in around to the near side. Schellberg trying to clear, can't do so. Hamlet, wrist shot coming, that one hammered off the end wall. And now a tie-up in the near corner of the RPI zone. 7 seconds to go in the period. At the wall, sent across. Now back to the point. Shot was blocked there by Gornall with 1. And that'll do it for the period. Engineers stave off the opening minute 11 of that power play. 49 seconds remain on the hooking call to Will Riley when the second period gets underway. But after 1, the Engineers have a lead, 2-1. Despite conceding the game's first goal, they fought their way back nicely. An almost power play goal. And then another tally.
Yeah, they certainly did. And it's good to see a lot of energy from this group as they go after 1 period.
All right, well, I said I was going to get you the Matthias Lang interview last night. I didn't come through on that, so we're going to get back to that one here this evening during our first intermission. We'll have that for you in just a moment. Your score, once again, after 1 period of play is RPI 2, Canisius 1. You're listening to RPI Hockey on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy.
From our junior class, please welcome. Here with number 1 Linda Marshall, parents Jim and Valerie Marshall. For number 20, Billy Jerry, parents David and Jenny Jerry. And for number 38, Alex Calvaruso, parents Mark and Laura Calvaruso. And from your senior class, please welcome. For number 3, TJ Salmon, parents Tim and Melinda Salmon. Number 8, Mike Gornall, his father, Dale Gornall.
have been circling like sharks, and you don't want to leave them with any blood in the water.
Ready to go in period number 2. Engineers skating from left to right across your radio dial. As we bring you this one, there's another 49 seconds left of power play time. As it'll be...
So RPI wins the opening face-off.
Yeah, they'll dump it in. I got you here, don't worry. It'll be moved around here onto the corner. And picked up by Canisius. Down the middle they come. Moving into the RPI zone. It'll be Ferner in the corner. Penalty coming up. Man, another one coming. Ferner going off here on a cross-check. Or the Engineers going off on a cross-check, I should say. And now 5-on-3 for 25 seconds.
So again, now if you're the Golden Griffins, you really do have to capitalize here. 5-on-3, you don't get these opportunities too often, and this could really be a way for them to get themselves back into this game.
So yeah, go ahead.
Engineers will bring out Linden and Dubinsky, and then one defenseman with fire.
So Johnson off on the cross-check. It'll be moved behind the goal. Here's your 5-on-3 for another 15 to try to capitalize early. There's a shot, comes in, or a centering pass, broken up, goes right to Savory. He's able to cover up.
And 11 seconds left on this 5-on-3, and Savory making the smart play there, covering it up, trusting that RPI will win these face-offs here, and I think that's a smart play from him, just covering up, expect to win the face-off, which they don't here.
Shot comes, no, blocked there by Dubinsky. 7 to go in the 5-on-3. Big moment in this game. Here's Hutchison, drops it back, a slap shot off the crossbar, no! And tie up there, out of the box comes Riley. They're off the bench, and the Engineers dodge a major bullet that time. Whereas with a minute into the second period, Canisius nearly tied it up. They rang one off the crossbar. They might even look at that in the next stoppage. But as it goes, still 2-1. RPI still on the power play here are the Golden Griffins. Work to the near side. And now back up top for Steve. Far side, one-timer saved by Savory. Rebound cleared out of the zone. Halfway through the second power play of the period. Third of the game for Canisius. As they've looked dangerous, especially at the tail end of that 5-on-3. I don't know who hit the crossbar, but they hit it hard. They'll probably put a dent in it. Now Kjellberg will clear off his own blue line back into Canisius territory. As they'll reset behind the goal. Steve. Far side connection. Into the zone they come. Passes a bit behind the intended target. Lapide, far side. Hamlin through Lapide. And now waiting. They go behind the goal. Graval, he's wrapped up. Engineers try to clear off the glass. Glove down by Hamlin. Across to Lapide into the middle. Touch pass back to Hamlin. A shot right onto the save by Savory with 14 to go on the power play.
Yeah, and Will Riley there on the penalty kill now, doing a good job of. One thing I've really noticed from him from the last 4 years. He's learned how to use his size and his agility to separate the man from the puck and to put himself in an advantageous position to win the puck. And on the penalty kill, that's very important so that you can force the separation and then flick at the length of the ice.
As it's 3 to go on the power play. And now it's over. So the Engineers killed, but they give it away. Shot comes, another pipe. Oh my goodness, Baskerville rung it off the iron. And now back comes Hallbauer. Near side. Burgess back to Bear, a shot, and that's gloved by Ladd the other direction. 2 posts hit on the power play. But the Engineers dodge 2 big bullets, and it's still 2-1.
Yeah, and the Bulldogs, or excuse me, the Griffins are not going to be too happy with the result of that. And I certainly would look at that first one because just from up here, it looked like it may have banged in, but it did come out. So I'm not sure what the angle would be for that.
Yeah. Well, that time has come and gone here as we drop the puck again. Couple of penalty kills for RPI. Canisius now 0 for 3 in the man advantage. They're saying it was a power play goal for RPI, so maybe my timing was off on the penalty and goal. I'll have to do some more math. Certainly haven't done that in a while. There's a Dubinsky shoved down. And it'll be cleared past Babachuk down ice, and RPI back to pick it up. Ferner. So neither of those shots off the iron count as shots, I guess, in the shots department. That's to be on goal. There's a shot on goal. Held onto by Savory. Long wrister from Casey Jarrett.
Yeah, and a Ferner there looked like he hit a bit of a wet spot in front of the Zamboni doors. Went to make a tight turn to fend off the ensuing forechecker and lost an edge, flew down to the ice. So Savory just closing it up and getting a change here.
I guess it was 2 seconds from not being a power play goal, RPI's goal. I was wrong on the other side, Joe. So it was a power play goal. Not even in essence. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of the essence. Lifting up the boards into the bench of Canisius, and we get another whistle. 16:34 left in period number 2. 2-1 RPI. You're listening to live coverage of RPI hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Pretty good sized crowd, I will say. We'll have to give you the exact number when it comes to us, Joe. But a lot of bodies in seats tonight.
Yeah, they're starting to fill up the edges of the ring.
Section 2, yeah.
Yeah, closer towards the entrance. So that's a good sign.
Goals from Ferner and Burgess in that first period for RPI have helped the Engineers bounce back from an early Matt Long goal for Canisius. Wrapped into the zone, played behind by Hallbauer. To the corner it goes. Digging for it is Graval. He's tied up there. Far corner of the RPI zone. Hallbauer's over there, so is Tour Linden. And Jake Johnson, who comes away with it, snaps it ahead to Lee, and now near side Burgess has the go-ahead goal. Sent across, that one went through Lee. Carries back out to the point for Hallbauer. Looking for a shooting line, gets one on goal. He was looking for the redirect from Johnson, didn't get it, as he had moved into a more advanced position from his blue line spot. Now moved ahead by Canisius off a stick in deep. Racing forward, will be picked up by Hallbauer. Shoots it around the forecheck of Lapide. And now to center ice, bouncing puck. Lee can't handle it, goes spinning into Canisius territory. They turn it around quickly. Here's Nick Hutchison, makes a move, trying to center, and that one comes through, but in the air, and it could not be found by Mitchell Martin. And now a hit in the corner. Puck comes free to Johnson, nearing the end of a shift. He just lifted into the zone, turned around quickly by the Golden Griffins. The man caught RPI here. Drop pass, shot comes. Hutchison saved by Savory, picked up on the far side. Steve, he'll walk in off the shoulder of Savory and out of play. And we get a stoppage. It's been a bit of a firing range here for the Golden Griffins early on in the second period. And RPI, I mean, they are lucky to not give them a goal. Those two pipes and now that shot.
Yeah, and if you're the Engineers, you got to communicate on those changes. You got to communicate, and you can't just go running off the ice if there's a guy that's skating down behind your back door.
It starts with getting it deep, though.
Yeah, no, that's true as well.
Yeah, you have to be aware of the situation, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
yep.
You got to be exactly. So here we go.
Yeah, it's got to be Johnson has to get that puck deep. That's where the issue began. Now a puck cleared towards the point, kept in by Canisius. And now a stick knocked out of a hand, and Laka's going to say that he let go of it rather easily, but Long draws a penalty here against the Slovakian. Fourth power play now for Canisius here.
Yeah, and Laka certainly not one of those super aggressive players. So he's a little upset because he plays a very skilled game. He's not one of those big bruiser guys that's going out to try and take somebody out or take somebody's stick out of their hand. He's just trying to play the game in a clean way.
RPI trying to move it down the near side. Short-handed on the run is Polino. That's broken up. Starting over at center ice, and down goes Hamlin, and now Polino's upended. Crowd looking for an arm to go up, and it doesn't. Now Lapide carrying it center ice. He'll lift it into the zone far corner. Bear over there with Graval, and it comes loose to Dubinsky. Here is Dubinsky into the zone. He gets a stick slashed out of his hands, and we're getting another penalty. And the slashing against the Golden Griffins, they return the favor. That'll end the power play for Canisius.
Yeah, and Dubinsky almost seemed to say, you know, that's a pretty good strategy. Maybe I'll try it out myself. And so
turns out it was not a good strategy. Oh, for Dubinsky.
Yeah, so Ern going to the box there for the Golden Griffins. We'll play some 4-on-4 here for a minute 16.
Alger goes off here for slashing. Austin Alger, a junior from Livonia, Michigan. As it's picked up along the near side in the Canisius zone, they look to break out. Sure had it for a moment. Now it's Hutchison behind the goal. Nick Hutchison with speed. We're 4-on-4 here for another minute. To the point, kept in by Scher. And now a breakout pass looking for Gornall. Good intercept there. Steve got back in time. And now Hutchison back the other way, carrying far side into the zone. Pulls up at the point. He'll filter it down low. Rattles around to the near side corner. Matt Hoover there on the carry. Tried to drop pass, lost it. Chance for RPI to go the other way. Hallbauer with Ashbrook. And now Hallbauer tripped. We got a penalty coming up here. It's going to be interference that'll send the Engineers on the power play.
So we're going to have all kinds of penalties up on the board now.
Yeah. RPI is going to go 4-on-3 for 33 seconds. And then they'll have a brief 5-on-3 power play.
So it's Hoover in the box for interference.
One back to Chelberg. 4-on-3 for RPI. As they move it to the far side of the Canisius zone. Kept in there, swung to the near side. Here's Riley. Riley down low for Zeke. Zeke pulls it back up. Riley, a wrist shot over the top of the net. He got way too much of that one. 8 seconds until a 5-on-3 for RPI. Chelberg, top of the zone. Back to Riley, top of the far circle. He'll trade places out of the box. Lock a 5-on-3 time for 40 seconds for the Engineers. Here's Zeke walking in. A shot! And that one caught something on the way through. RPI sets up again on the 5-on-3. Chelberg down low. Here's Zeke. Back up top to Riley. Zeke, goal line extended. Centering pass. A shot. Oh, a glove save! My goodness! Matt Ladd with the glove. Keeps this a 2-1 game. RPI trying to hurry up and get the puck back in the zone. As the Engineers do bring it in now as Lepinen was denied. A glorious opportunity there. Now a centering pass in front, they score! Polino scores the 5-on-3 tally. And it'll still be a power play for RPI.
Yeah, they put it in with 3 seconds left on the 5-on-3, and one of the things I noticed there on that last goal after Lepinen got absolutely robbed there by Ladd, that when they brought the puck back in, they did not go off sides, and they very easily could have, because there were players coming in with a lot of momentum, but they did a really good job of staying on sides and getting that opportunity and capitalizing on the 5-on-3. And a real dagger, because the Golden Griffins had almost killed off that first part of the 5-on-3.
Shoot it around to the far side. As it'll be another power play here for the Engineers. Another 24 seconds. Wrist shot, Burgess, it's blocked in the air and out to center ice. Back comes Canisius short-handed, that's broken up. And now Burgess the other way. In front now, penalty about to expire, but Bear has it in the corner. 2-1, so that power play is over. And we got a whistle here, and it was a hand pass. Puck played with a high stick, we'll get a stoppage. And a needed one here as we get to catch our breath here, Joe.
Yeah, 11:25 to go here in the second period, and it's been all action. We've had pipes, we've had goals, we've had 5-on-3s, all sorts of action here from the Houston Fieldhouse. And if you're RPI, you need to stay aggressive here. You've got a 3-1 lead. You need to play how you did against UConn last weekend when you had that lead. you can't get complacent and be happy with the lead. You got to keep going forward, and that's exactly what they did on that. After that 5-on-3, they went right back into the zone and kept firing with the little bit of time they had on that power play. So if they can keep up that energy and keep up that game plan, I think the Engineers have a good chance here to go into the weekend, go home from the weekend at 500. But we still have a lot of hockey left here, and Canisius certainly, after hitting 2 pipes, they're not going to be too happy about where they are in this game, because if those 2 pipes bounce in, or just the puck slide goes a little bit lower, then maybe it's a tie game here at the Houston Fieldhouse. So Canisius certainly isn't going to go away, and they're a top. I mean, they're 2 years ago they were right up with the other teams in Atlantic hockey. They made it to the semifinals that year, and so this isn't just some team that's going to go away.
Shots are 16-14 RPI. And they know it's 3-1 on the power play goal by Patrick Polino. Shot comes in off the draw. Worked around, now a centering pass. Bouncing towards the blue line, it's kept in. Melaragny's shot, and that took a deflection, goes behind the goal. Slap to the far side, here's Jake Morello for RPI. The senior from Slingerlands leads the rush up the far side wall. Takes a shot, save, rebound swept away. Gordon was crashing. Good job defensively. As it was swept away, I believe that's who's that, 23, Jerry, doing the job, or 27. Miato into the RPI zone. Upended there was Ferner. Miato back to the point. Melaragny's shot, or fed across for the Hamlin shot, and that one goes wide. Karam's around to the near side. Hoover on the move. Far side. Kind of a hospital pass that just barely got to the intended target at the point. Now RPI is lifted out to center ice. Will Scherr back to get it. 2 points in his career in 41 games, including 2 this year. There's an icing call against Canisius.
And another thing I want to talk about is RPI, they weren't too happy with the amount of odd man rushes they'd given up in the first period. And in the second period, it seems they've made a conscious effort to play with layers. If a couple guys are going up on an odd man rush, they have a defenseman stay back just in case for the counter punch, in case they get it turned over and there's a counter punch.
Yeah, Joe, we've had 3 goals tonight, or 4 total goals. And all first, except until we got to Polino. Shooting goals and assists. Anyway, here comes Canisius the other way. Good connection. Hutchison walking in. Hutchison backhand. Oh, Savory denies. A big time stop there.
Yeah, and as I was just mentioning, Canisius gets an odd man rush right off the faceoff, but they did have a defenseman back. It was either Shelberg or Riley that kind of dropped down a little bit too soon. It looked like they were trying to deny the pass, but because of that, he was able to fly around and make a play on his
I think they just misjudged Hutchison's speed on that play.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burgess ended up being the last one back as Riley got burned there. Face off in the RPI zone. They break the center. A little touch pass for Zeke, off for Lepinen, who was absolutely robbed by Ladd. We've seen some good goaltending for a 3-1 game tonight, Joe. Moved out far side. Steve to center. Now here they come again. Mastrodonato. And it knocked away. Bear to center. Dubinsky trying to throw it cross ice and didn't get anything on it. Lapide back into the zone. Fed across. Broken up by Johnson and just shovels it out to center ice. Lapide again will dump in. Golden Griffins have to touch up, so Shane Bear will play. Senior transfer out of Calgary, Alberta. Former Providence Friar. Moved in deep by the Engineers. They'll chase. Wareham gets a hit from Lepinen. Now lifted up the near side wall. Moving into RPI territory is Pogue. He lost the puck. Now a chance for a 2-on-1. Polino walking in. Pulls it back and fires just wide. Kept in at the point, far side by Hallbauer. And now worked up the wall. And out to center, they reset there. Polino looks determined tonight. He already has that power play goal, and he nearly had another there as he just ripped it. Sorry, Bear was at UMass. Zeke was at Providence. Thanks, Joe, for pointing that out.
8:50 to go here in the second period. Shots advantage is RPI 17, Canisius Golden Griffins 15. And as you mentioned, we've seen some really good goaltending from both sides tonight. And if you're both coaches, you have to like what you see, because I mean, when you're getting absolutely lit up by North Dakota last week, both goalies really needed one.
I think one started, the other one came in, and the other one started, and then the original one came back in.
It didn't really matter who was out there. So if you're a coach, you like to see that then bounce back, but especially Lod bouncing back after a rough weekend against a top team.
If you're RPI, I think more importantly than scoring for RPI tonight, Joe, is their defensive play. And so far, it really hasn't quite been, I'm sure, what the coaching staff wants. They're not going to get away with some of these plays against some of the more top teams in the league, especially.
Yeah, but I think it's a lot better than what it was last night against UConn. I think, like I said, I think they're playing with layers. I noticed Ferner kind of easing back on some of these odd man rushes and just kind of focusing on not letting that 2-on-0 play happen.
Yeah, Hutchison, a top-level player, 42 goals and 39 assists in his 111-game career coming in. He doesn't have any points yet this year, but he showed off a great move there. And Savory, he could have easily allowed 2 or 3 goals in this period, but he's kept a lid on that thing right now for the Engineers, just a 1 goal against. 3-1 RPI lead with 8:50 left in the second period. Patrick Polino, the only goal of this frame on the power play.
On the 5-on-3 power play, right? And that was a real dagger. I think.
It was a 5-on-3, yes.
It was a 5-on-3, and they put it in with 3 seconds left on the 5-on-3. So that was the real dagger of it.
Ferner had a first period power play goal with 2 seconds left on the power play. So the Engineers are burying some buzzer beaters, not in the, I guess, the sense that you'd think of the period, but at the end of these power plays, they're 2 for 3 when they could be 0 for 3. Puck out to center ice and all the way down. They will wave off the icing as Earn plays. Riley spins off the near side wall, turns it back towards goal, and nearly caught the netminder Ladd leading the wrong way. Is it shot down here? This will be icing on the Golden Griffins.
So even when Babachuk can't keep the puck in from the blue line, they still get in the offensive zone with the icing.
Face off to the right of Matt Ladd, who has made 14 saves on 17 RPI shots so far. Face-off win for the Golden Griffins as Gornell just goes toppling over his man. That was Hearn. Puck out to center. Here is Jerry for Canisius. Casey Jerry dumps it in. Behind the goal, Miato. He gets roughed up there by Bear. And now to the far corner it goes, kept in along the wall. Feed all the way across to the near side. Melaragny behind the goal. Miato there. Back to Melaragny near side, goes through him, and Gornell's going to pick it up. Bit of a misplay. And it's Mike Gornell into the zone. He loses the handle. And now back comes Scherer for Canisius. Centering pass, bouncing in the slot. Pinballs off a couple of legs. And now Laka across for Ashbrook, who gave it away. A blind backhand. Hutchison, a shot and a save. And a good tie-up on the near side by Gornell. There's another try, and Savory has to hold on to that one. As Owen Savory, a couple of more stops in this period to keep it a 3-1 game.
Yeah, Savory there just closing it up there, not liking what he's seeing. A couple of lazy passes there in their own end, and the Golden Griffins are forcing turnovers and taking advantage of it. So Savory just trying to slow it down and get a clean face-off here.
17 apiece now are the shots as the Golden Griffins have pulled even. We need the other 2 officials back on the ice. Now they're ready to go. They're over on the side talking about something. We need them on the ice talking about hockey. Moving into the near side corner. Lee trying to track it down. Hops to the far side wall where Keaton Mastrodonato is going to play. On a Powell River, BC, former Alberni Valley Bulldog will flip it up into the RPI zone. Turned around by Allbauer. Now Lee. Lee will dump in, but didn't get it deep, and that's kind of been the story a couple times here for RPI. Now they break in. They're onside. Shot coming. Saved by Savory. Another one!
Are you kidding me, Owen Savory? 2-on-0, and he manages to scoop up the initial shot and the rebound with 6:52 to go here in the second period. If you're any RPI defenseman, you have to go over there and just give your goaltender a little tap, because he is really saving your behind right now.
Yeah, it really could be a much different game if not for Owen tonight. Now RPI breaks out here. Moving in, that was Lepinen. He tried to feed it across. It was broken up. Trying to find Zeke, which is not a bad idea, but it was broken up by the defense for Canisius. Hoover had it knocked down there by Dubinsky in the air. Glove down by Kjellberg, kind of. And they'll say it was touched by a Golden Griffin, so no hand pass. Deep into RPI territory it goes. Riley's tied up there with Hutchison. Poked towards the near side half wall. Picked up by Zeke. He'll move back behind, and I'll throw it to Kjellberg, who skates to center. Simon Kjellberg will slap one in from center ice, easily held onto by Ladd, and then Kjellberg will crash himself and draw a whistle. 6:08 to play second period. Kjellberg has been quiet so far tonight on the score sheet, but he does have those 4 points in 2 games so far for the NHL draft choice and son of a former NHLer, Patrick Kjellberg.
Yes, and Canisius here now takes the shots advantage, 19-18. And I believe that might be the first time of the game that they've had the shots advantage.
It is. Certainly this period has dictated that. Now tripped up was Johnson. They don't feel it warrants a penalty. Now to the corner it goes. Jerry, he absorbs a hit from Scherr. And now trying to dig it free. They are still behind the goal. Morello is doing his best against 3 Golden Griffins. Still Morello fighting for it, and finally Ern's able to pry it loose on the near side. Big hit thrown by Jerry. Turn it over Polino. Polino walking in. Sends it across. Morello scores! Checked by the Engineers, and it pays off as Morello nets his first of the season. And RPI's up by 3.
And RPI kind of doing a 2-1-2 forecheck there. Polino was working in the center and then came swooping over to the boards when he saw it was going up there. And makes a beautiful pass there through the stick. And no chance there for Ladd. I mean, you can't put it any better than that. Sure played that. He played it well, but Polino just absolutely laced it through between his stick and his skates.
And now a shot, Karam to the near side for Gornall. Trying to center, that one comes all the way through where it's gathered up by Alger. And now Casey Jerry going to dump in for Canisius into the far corner, trying to work it behind. Now he fakes the pass, carries it along the wall where he's met by a pair of Engineers. Cleared but not out of the zone. Here's Steve. Twisting and turning in the far circle, takes a shot. Left pad stopped by Savory. And now back to the middle of the ice it goes. Wrist shot over the top, off the stick of Alger. And now help to the middle of the ice for Laka. He takes a hit. 2 Golden Griffins go down, and Ashbrook will carry to center ice for RPI. Hand off in the zone, just kept it along the blue line. Those great hands of Babachuk showing him off there, keeping the puck alive in the offensive end. Now Canisius will start from behind its own goal. Hamlin working up the wall in the middle of a change. That one hit a skate, so no icing. It'll be played by Johnson, helped aside by Savory. Up the near side boards. Poked on further. Back in his own zone is Wareham. Broken up at the RPI line by Bear, although it's moved back into the zone. It was Mastrodonato. He gets roughed up by Johnson. And ready to get a penalty here. They might get Johnson for going a little bit overboard. It's going to be a rough for sure. All right, so 4:12 to play in the second, and another power play here for Canisius. They're 0 for 4 so far.
So it'll be Johnson going to the box here for RPI as Canisius looks to get a little bit of life here, as it seems every time they have some, Owen Savory saps it right away from them with some incredible saves. And I think a good thing for Owen Savory is he is getting goal support tonight here from his offense. The Engineers have capitalized on the scoring chances that maybe they haven't capitalized on in the past. And Patrick Polino after a beautiful forecheck, he's very unselfish with the puck there. He has he really does have a shot on net there, but instead he elects to slip it through and get a better shot opportunity there from Morello. And sometimes guys they'll overpass, they'll take the extra pass when they don't need to and miss a scoring chance. But that was not an extra pass. That was a well-calculated play there from Patrick Polino to get it to his classmate, and senior Jake Morello able to knock it home. Lift it high and knock it home.
Face-off coming up in the RPI zone. 5th power play chance here for Canisius. A little bit scary when teams now 0 for 13 on the year, or 0 for 14 on the year, Joe. So you feel like law of averages plays itself out. Let's see if the injured penalty kill can say something else about that.
Yeah.
RPI dumps it all the way down ice. Worked along, past Hoover into the RPI zone, turned around. Jerry, nearly broke out shorthanded, but it was swatted away defensively by Steve at center. Speaking of droughts, Billy Jerry's looking to end his, going back to his freshman season when he put up 7 goals and 5 assists. His last goal came in the Mayor's Cup in 2018. Looking to change that early on this year. If he waits too long, Joe, his next goal might come next weekend against Union again. We'll see. That comes off the Zamboni door, to our left, and good awareness by Savory to recognize that. Never got to him. Didn't have enough on it. Now clear from the Engineers out to center. Steve picks it up there. Flip far side. Move back in by Hoover. Snap stick, or the lost stick there. That's Hutchison. Has to go back and pick it up. Steve for the near circle. Nice move. Showing off good hands for the defenseman is Steve, far side for Hutchison. 49 to go in the power play. Steve up top. Far circle, Hutchison. Holding. Waiting. He'll hand off for Steve again. He moves to the top of the circle. Shot comes in, was blocked. Picked up by Ferner. He'll try to find a lane to clear. He's wrapped up by Martin. And it'll be gloved down along the near side. Down low, a move. Far side, Martin. Shot comes in, no. And then picked up by Gravel. Or Graval. Hamlin. Down low, a centering pass. Broken up by the stick of Savory. 15 to go in the power play. Some tense moments here as a shot comes in, and Savory's going to hold on. There's a one-timer from Hutchison who found himself in a good spot. Hamlin delivered the pass, but again, head down from Hutchison as he sees Savory make another save. Yeah,
and really strong puck movement there from the Golden Griffins. They're itching to get back on the scoreboard again. They haven't scored since the first period here, but they're itching to get back on there. The Engineers also, they kind of look like they're playing with some tired legs.
Face off here, puck out to center. That should all but do it for the power play. And it is over. With about 2 minutes left in the period. Now a diving play by Dubinsky breaks it up. RPI trying to move into the zone. It's Autovile Leppinen! It's a 5-1 game. Leppinen broke in on a breakaway. His first of the year. RPI up by 4.
Autovile would not be robbed again by Rod. Made up 1-2 moves and just flipped it in. Really a highlight reel goal there from Autovile Leppinen. And that's his first goal of the year.
Face off at center ice as the Engineers have opened up a 5-1 lead here on Canisius. Puck in deep now in the Golden Griffins end. Through center they go. Here's Baskerville trying to center. Half fanning on the shot. That was Jestro. And now on come the Engineers, lead is center. Far side. That'll be picked up there and cleared out by the lone goal scorer for Canisius. That's Matt Long. RPI back in his own zone.
17:58.
Moved in by Polino now. Around behind it goes. Pops out to the slot. Shot coming. Jerry! It flutters over the top. Polino now carries top of the zone. Near side, Ferner. Back to Polino. One-time shot. That one goes wide along the ice. Graval back behind. Now to the far side wall. Last minute left to the second. Engineers are pouring it on right now. Polino. Working up the far side, Morello. He'll spin back to the corner. Morello back to the near point for Ferner. Ferner holding. Across. Moved along by Babachuk to the far side. One-handed down low for Jerry. Engineers cycling now as Jerry gets dumped in the corner. Polino out of the corner, takes a shot, and Ladd makes a save and holds on with 34.1 left in the second.
Yeah, the Engineers are absolutely swarming right now. They're staying aggressive despite being up so much, then that's a really good sign. That's a sign of an energized team. And it looked like it really, they're playing 5-on-5, but it's looked like they were on the power play for the last couple minutes here.
Draw coming to the right of Ladd. As it'll be Linden to take the favor. Laka gets forced into action as Ashbrook was tossed. And now Steve in the near corner loses out to the Engineers. Shot coming. Laka tried to center it for Ashbrook, but a little too hot to handle. Now back comes Hutchison. Hutchison moving in, pulls up far circle. Chopped on out to center ice, and Earns back to get it. A little bit of forecheck pressure from Ashbrook. Crowd wants free stuff. Doesn't look like they're going to get it. 8 seconds to go in the period. And almost despite them, the Golden Griffins are just playing a little keep away here. So they're going to lose big here. They're not going to give away free food to the fans, and they will take that to the locker room. 5-1 RPI after 2 periods of play, despite being outshot by the Golden Griffins, 22-21. The Engineers have a big lead.
Yeah, and I think the reason for that is really because their chances that they're getting are very high quality. Both of those goals were from really good setups. Dubinsky in the neutral zone just made a really strong aggressive play and was able to force a turnover. And then Leppinen just doing what he does best and dipping and dangling and flipping the puck into the net. So the Finnish sophomore puts RPI up. Puts RPI up 5-1, and then the other goal in the period was from Morello, him getting his first of the season, and in his first game of the season as well. But it really was from a beautiful setup there. Again, it was from strong play on the defensive side. Polino was able to force a turnover and then take the puck and move in on the slot and force make a pretty good chance. He could have shot it, but said he elected to flip it over to Morello for the easy shot and an easy goal.
All right, they'll do it for our second period. We'll come back. Joe and I will talk a little RPI athletics action. A little running, a little soccer. I know you're excited about the soccer. Everyone's excited about the soccer. We'll get to that in our second intermission. Your score, once again, after 2 is RPI 5 and Canisius 1. You're listening to RPI Hockey 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
Canisius crossover as we're seeing here tonight. Not just currently, but also previously. As we get set for the third period.
Yeah, we got RPI from right to left here. It's 5-1 Engineers. This is an important period, not just to put the game away for RPI, but continue to keep their foot on the pedal here against an upstart Canisius team that they've shown some ability up front, especially the likes of Hutchison and Lapide and Master Donato. Some of these guys have some experience.
And against Jerry here to start the period.
And it's dumped in, goes behind the goal, carried around to the near corner, and out to the far side. Canisius looking to break out. Hamlin tipped in deep there by Graval. Far side corner, they cycle. Ryan Miato back to the point. Here's Hamlin through a screen, saved by Savory. As it was Casey Jerry providing the screen, and Savory made the stop anyway.
Yeah, and the Griffins certainly are coming out buzzing. And last time Engineers were up 5-1, it was against UConn last weekend, where they ended up, they did still win 5-3, but they did sort of let UConn creep back into that game. So again, as you mentioned to start, you don't want to give these Griffins any chance because they, like you said, they are upstart.
Tie up off the draw, comes through to the near side, Lepinen. Ahead for Dubinsky, and now here's Zeke. He'll fire one that's blocked. Second try, rebound, Dubinsky trying to slap it home. And we have a new goaltender in there, that's Jacob Barzuski. Or Barczewski, I beg your pardon. I missed that. Taking over for Ladd, who gave up the 5 goals. On 16 saves for Ladd through 2. Go ahead, sorry.
I find that interesting because, as you mentioned, we've had some pretty good goaltending from both sides tonight.
I thought Ladd had not a bad game, but when you give up 5, it's tough to argue really being taken out.
Yeah.
It's just a tough argument to make. They say you are what your record is, you are the numbers are. That one's going to hop out of play. Minute 4 into the third period. Engineers on top, 5-1. The shots are even, 23 apiece.
And I think the other thing that maybe they're looking at is Owen Savory has been playing phenomenal tonight, and he's also had to face a plethora of really strong scoring chances from the Golden Griffins, but he's been able to make those saves. So maybe it's a little, they're just looking across the ice and seeing what could have been.
Face off in deep RPI zone. Tristan Ashbrook up the near side. Can't clear the zone. They eventually do. Earn shoots it back in for Canisius. Stopped there by Savory. He's put together a pretty complete game, along with some real highlight reel stops for the sophomore out of Cambridge, Ontario. Proving why he should have been, still is, a solid goaltender. He was the ECAC Hockey All-Rookie goalie. He was a finalist for Rookie of the Year in the conference. RPI in its own zone. It's Johnson. Down the middle, tip deep by Laka over the head of Barczewski, who's already made 2 stops early on in this period. Now Burgess going to flip it deep. He has a goal tonight, his first of the year. The senior from Phoenix. Wrapped to the point and kept in. Shot even by Babachuk. It was blocked down. Out to center ice. Here's Mastrodonato. Chipping deep. Tied up there was Graval. A shot goes wide. And the Carams around to the far side. Engineers break to center. Tour Linden will just spin it deep. Not enough on it for icing. Here's Wareham. Shot up the near wall, and Lapide's going to get a chance here. Moving in top of the circle. Takes a shot. Save made. And the rebound hopped away in a hurry to the far side wall. And now moved out to center ice. Trying to jump on it was Polino. Steered away by Steve. As Canisius will reset in its own zone. Mastrodonato played far side, tipped deep by Graval. As we played there by Savory. Here's Kjellberg for the Engineers, lifts it off the glass, too far for Morello. Right back to Kjellberg, and now flipped in deep by Polino. Jerry trying to get there with Morello going to the net. Now Morello comes to help out down low. Spinning out of the check is Schurer, and he'll move it up the near side boards. Too far for Jerry, gloves into the zone. Pops free to Schurer, now controlled by the Engineers' Hallbauer. Thrown near side out to center, too far for Morello. And the Golden Griffins will control again in their own zone, played far side. Lifted in the air by Hallbauer, and now corralled by Canisius in their own zone. Sent around near side by Miato, kept in by Lepinin. Lepinin makes a move near circle, looking for a centering feed. Oh, a stop there. Barczewski got all of it, and he needed to, as it was Zeke on the doorstep.
Yeah, Zeke there looking for his first goal at home. And I was just about to say the Engineers look like they've got some flat legs here to start the period, but that last shift that came out was able to kind of jumpstart, put the spark plugs into the Engineers' offense. And that's what you want. You don't want to go flat in the third period, even though you're up by 4. You gotta keep the pedal to the metal.
Sent off the glass near side and out to center ice. Sticked away by Savory to the far wall. Laka, he's wrapped up there. Chops it out to center. Glove down and set back in by Melaragni. Now a giveaway. Savory sprawling. He has to make a save. Engineers dodge another one there. A couple of haphazard plays in their own zone. Now Ashbrook lost his stick and went all the way across the ice as he was knocked down. Sent back in by Canisius. Stopped there by Savory. He'll elect to play it ahead for Laka. Laka far side. Linden walking in, takes a shot. It's blocked. Back the other way come the Golden Griffins. Goes through the stick of Martin, and now gathered up here by the Engineers. Here's Babachuk. Good connection to center for Burgess, who flips it deep. First one to it, going to be Wareham. And Blake Wareham will shoot it up the far side boards. Sent back in by Ferner. RPI has to touch up, and they do. Behind his own goal, it's Wareham again. Pogue ahead, too far out in front of Baskerville. And now the Engineers have it once more in their own zone. Ferner, near side. Does Burgess touch? No. No, they wave it off. They say Jerry beat it down ice. Good hustle there by the junior. Out of River Falls, Wisconsin, Billy Jerry. Seems fitting if he scores against his brother's team here, Joe. Let's see if he gets one. Would seem fitting. Now Pogue lifts it into the offensive zone. Lapide. Tie up in the near corner. Hallbauer comes away with it. He'll shoot it far side. Good connection. Moving along is Polino. Dubinsky a shot. Whoa. Fumbled there. Barcheski had that shot eat him up, but gets some help from his teammates. They're able to clear to center. Steve. Near side of his own zone. Backs out. Feeds it far side. Here's Schur. Into the attacking zone. Takes a shot. Easy save by Savory. It hopped away, but only a couple of inches of his pad. He's able to cover up and get a whistle.
Yeah, and Savory really, again, making a beautiful save there. And I actually saw Shane, it looked like Shane Bear went over to him after they got the puck out of the zone and kind of tapped him and said thank you, because Bear turned the puck over really right in the goal mouth. And Savory able to sprawl out and keep that puck out of the net to not give the Golden Griffins any chance of closing this lead.
So with 14:04 left in the third, RPI leading at 5-1. Haven't had too many games like this, Joe, recently, where they've had the games in hand, and it's nice to see. You have a team that comes in, you're quote-unquote supposed to beat, right? And then they end up trying to pull that off.
Yeah, I mean, really, these teams, I don't think there's any team that you're quote-unquote supposed to beat.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the talent
okay,
level
yeah.
is so
You're being a coach right now, though, Joe. You can't have that mentality. I'm saying.
I definitely think if they had
in the ether of hockey, you're supposed to beat them.
Yes, agreed. Especially a team that's coming off a drubbing that they did last week against North Dakota.
Largest margin of victory since they beat RIT by an 8-3 margin in 2017. That was the first game of the year, I think. Close to it. Here's Ashbrook walking in, and a good stick by Steve. Breaks up the shot, and it goes up into the netting.
And I also think that maybe the loss last night to UConn kind of is what jump-started this bull rush from RPI. They were none too happy with how they played last night, and you're seeing it here tonight.
Yeah, it's a good bounce-back game for sure. Shots are 26-25 Canisius. The face-off coming up in the Golden Griffins zone. Chopped at by Dubinsky at the point, moved out to center. Lapide throwing it far side. Hutchison trying to beat everybody down ice, and Riley just gets there ahead of him. Now Riley goes headfirst into the wall, and he is hurt. And this is not good.
That definitely looked like a boarding.
Yeah, it is a penalty. Riley's down, and Hutchison's being escorted away. It wasn't a vicious hit from Hutchison, but it certainly was not legal. The crowd is letting him hear it as the captain is down.
It looked like
he went headfirst into the boards.
Yeah.
As Austin Jones, his first trip onto the ice. You know, you're a returner, you don't want to go on the ice, but he's out there, and Riley's up and up on his feet, and that's good to see.
Yeah, and he jumped up there and made a couple quick skates there.
Yeah, we're getting a replay look at it on our monitor, and it did not look good, but Riley is going to head back to the bench. He is a tough customer, so he'll do, I'm sure, all in his power to get back out there, but obviously you don't want to rush things. You want to take a full look at him, and of course Austin's going to do that as the new trainer for RPI men's hockey, and Tara Patnod for many years was the trainer here for the Engineers. She's moved on down in PA, but Austin gets the opportunity here to work with the Engineers hockey team, and then deal with stuff like that. Captain getting run into the end wall head first.
Yeah, and
It's going to be a penalty, of course, on a 5-minute hit from behind and a game misconduct.
And after he made the hit, Hudson kind of saw what had happened. Like you said, it wasn't vicious. He was kind of looking down concerned. He didn't even make a play for the puck. He was just kind of looking down concerned for Riley. But a good sign for Riley when he came over after getting up, he sat on the bench. And he took his helmet off, but he sat on the bench and just kind of looked like he was going to get back in, but the trainers made the smart move and decided to bring him into the locker room. But he certainly, I think he would have been out there if he wanted to be. So RPI goes on the power play here. It's Zeke moving up in through neutral ice, and he'll dump it in. Lepinen looks to dig for it in the corner. 3 Engineers there. Golden Griffins come away and clear it the length of the ice.
Thanks, Joe. 5-minute major here for the Engineers. They are 2-for-3 on the power play so far. Shot comes in. That was Kjellberg, and it's flung back down ice. RPI will reset again. Of course, non-releasable. We have almost 13 minutes left in the game. RPI could really put the hammer down. I don't think they will go after as many goals as they're going to run their power play. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think they have any reason to run up the score on Canisius. Of course, Dave's old team. Sent in by Lee. It'll be wrapped around. You're kind of in a tough spot with a 5-minute major, right, Joe? You got to try to run your power play and score goals, but you're still not trying to run things up. There's a shot off the post from Hallbauer. And out down low, here's Laka in the corner. Lee comes to help out, thrown behind the goal. Burgess. Sent back to the blue line. Here's Babachuk. Across to the far side now, walking in. Hallbauer, centering pass broken up and carried on out. And now they're onside. Turning with it here is Jerry. And it's Casey Jerry for Canisius, moving it back to Hamlin. He'll waste some time before dumping it down. 2 minutes through the major penalty. RPI leading at 5-1. They obviously would be in a lot more hurry if they were a tighter game here. But they'll set the breakout here. Shane Bear. Far side carry, moves it along. Moving into the zone, hands it off the blue line, sent to the near side. Lepinen gathers, played it back to the point, past Kjellberg, and he'll have to race for it. Right in front of the RPI bench. Runs into a couple of Golden Griffins, and now Master Donato is getting into a shoving match with somebody.
Lepinen.
Yeah, Lepinen down there. He went hard into the wall, then he was hit. He thinks, I think, after the whistle, and that's what he was upset about. It was awfully close. It was a little bit of late whistle and offside that really created that problem. 11:09 left in the third. You're listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Per Lascaris, Joe Pisacano at the Houston Fieldhouse, where the Engineers lead Canisius 5-1.
And 2:32 to go here on the 5-minute major power play. And I think one of the cool things about a 5-minute major power play, especially like you said, RPI is up 5-1 here with 11:09 to go in the third period. You get to see maybe a couple guys that aren't normally on the power play. You get to see some guys that that they're going to maybe experiment a little bit. If you're going to experiment, now's a good time with a 4-goal lead and a 5-minute major, and see what they can bring to a power play unit. And also, personally, a lot of these guys, they want to score points. They want to be able to look down at a stat sheet and say, I've got a goal, I got an assist. So the players certainly aren't going to back off just because they've gotten such a big lead.
Face masking on Zeke will make this a 4-on-4 here. And it will create another power play on the other side of things for RPI. As the Engineers power play is over. They'll kind of split this power play into 2 parts. Not what RPI had in mind, as Hoover has it now. He'll stick handle into the corner around the net, trying to center one-timer. They score. Savory was looking the wrong way. And it's 5-2, an even strength goal for number 83, Austin Elger. His second of the season.
Yeah, just kind of posts up there. And like you mentioned, Savory looking the wrong way, looking for the wraparound. But Austin Elger right there gets his second of the year. See him holding the pipe, and then he moves side to side really well, but puck's in the back of the net. Moved to the wrong side that time.
So, 5-2 game. As they move it in again. Tight angle shot saved by Savory. You don't want to get too complacent here, or complacent at all, really, if you're RPI. Give away any more chances like that. Polino skates ahead 4-on-4. Shot and a glove save. The tight angle by Barcheski to hold on.
And a good play there from Polino to really kind of say, just to wake back up and get another chance on net. Because, like you say, you don't want to get complacent there. And now you get an offensive zone draw.
Face off to the left of Barcheski. And it'll be one back behind. It'll be carried by Jestro. Near side, Lapide. That's broken up by Lepinin. Along the near half wall, moved out to center ice, trying to play it as Gornell. Intercepting is Wareham. Back into the Engineers' end. Babachuk back to play. 43 seconds before RPI goes on another very short power play. As most of this 5-minute major was wiped out by the face masking call on Zeke. As it'll be played by Wareham. Down the middle, poked away, wide of the goal, helped aside by Savory. And now worked forward for Lee. 15 seconds before the RPI short power play again, as it'll come trickling in on the goaltender Barcheski. No, hold on. Freshman from O'Fallon, Missouri is Barcheski.
9:18 to go here in the third. Shots are even on both sides. And as you mentioned, only 10 seconds left before RPI goes on another abbreviated power play.
Yeah, about 32 seconds of power play time once Zeke comes out of the box. Here's Burgess. Sent across to the far side through the stick of Bear. And now played by Steve. Schur's wrapped up, but he clears to center ice. No, kept in. Nice play at the blue line by Holbauer. Now it's a power play for RPI for another 22 seconds. Short-handed Steve on his own, carries into the RPI zone, takes a shot, is blocked by Bear. As it'll be moved out by Burgess now. Into the attacking zone, drop pass here, shot coming up into the netting, and we get a whistle. And the penalty's over.
Just a note for RPI RPI senior captain Will Riley is back on the bench with his helmet on, standing up and ready to step out. So Will Riley is back from the dressing room, and he is back sitting on the bench with his teammates, with his helmet on, ready to play. 8:35 to go here in the second period. RPI up 5-2 over Canisius College. You're listening to live coverage of RPI men's hockey on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy, the Upstate Underground. Engineers will bring out Morello, who's got a goal already tonight on a very crisp feed from Patrick Polino. And then Shane Bear and Hallbauer on the defensive side. RPI really has looked strong tonight. They look like they've rebounded from a rough outing against UConn, and that's a strong thing that you want to see from this team. But if you're Canisius, after they were reeling last week against North Dakota, they came out strong in that first period, and they did have their fair share of scoring chances, but they have not been able to capitalize on them, barring the 2 that they had. So Canisius may be looking to see what they got here in the last couple minutes and try to put a couple more in and see if their scoring can get jump started.
8 minutes to go, 8:17 left. RPI up 5-2. Hamlin throws it towards goal. Tipped try by Hoover. He didn't get anything on it. Just trickled in towards Savory, and he covers up.
And if you're Coach Dave Smith, another thing I think you should take from tonight is just how good Owen Savory is. He's played absolutely phenomenal tonight. And he's kept RPI, he's allowed RPI to really take control of this game. Whenever Canisius would come flying back on an odd man rush, he, for the most part, was able to stop it.
Puck goes behind the cage, trickling to the near side now. Point shot earned. That one hit a body, goes up into the glass. And now Gornell near side. Here is Ashbrook, pulls up at the near half boards, drops it back into the skates of Kjellberg, and now he's got to go. Get back as Lapide is trying to move in. Good hit there by Kjellberg. Thrown across the ice. Penalty coming up here as Riley takes a stick up high. And now back come the Engineers. Delayed penalty. Shot comes wide of the goal. Savory to the bench. Extra attacker on. Shot in, and that one's blocked. Kept out, and we get a stoppage here finally. 7:26 to go. As RPI is going to go on its 6th power play.
So Riley draws another penalty.
Be high sticking for sure. Lincoln Earn goes off here. Engineers 2 for 5 on the power play so far.
Certainly keeping up with their season average.
Played behind the goal, now a clearing effort all the way down.
It's an E. Stewart Jones Ever-Living power play for RPI.
Now a shot comes in and they score! 6-2 RPI. Todd Burgess is second in the game. RPI's 3rd power play goal. They're 3 for 6 in the man advantage.
When Todd Burgess gets ahead of steam, you better watch out because he's playing with a lot of swagger here tonight. He dances around the blue line, he makes sure that he stays on sides, dangles, gets it through into the slot area, no one there to stop him except the netminder, and he buries it top shelf. Makes the water bottle bounce around.
7 minutes to go. Now we get a whistle. And a face-off coming up inside the Canisius zone.
And the RPI flagman certainly getting a lot of exercise here tonight.
Could be a cross-country runner by the time we're done.
Maybe a couple more laps.
Okay. That's not a full workout for you?
Nah.
6 times around?
Just a little warm-up.
Okay. Now we're going to do a face-off again. Babachuk picks up the secondary assist on the power play goal.
And by number 31, Owen Savory.
Savory gets the secondary. All right. Why not?
And the crowd loving that.
RPI E. Stewart Jones power play goal scored by 17 Burgess. Second of the night, second of the season. From 22 Babachuk, 31 Savory at 12:53.
Center ice draw here, moved along. And picked up on the far side by Milleragni. Now a tight angle shot goes way high and wide from Zeke. That'll leave the zone. On comes Jerry into the zone. All the way around he goes. And now to the near corner, Jerry. Handoff there, finding Polino. Trying to center out in front. He tried to find Jerry, who was poked away and all the way down. Picked up here and broken out by Hallbauer on the carry. 5 minutes to go. Leaves a man in the dust. Now he'll spin it down low. It'll be picked up there by Hamlin. Sent around to the far side where it's cleared out. Hallbauer sent across for Gornell. Gornell carries in. Drops it off for Laka. Laka tried to send it across. It was broken up and cleared on the carry by Lapide. Sent down ice for icing here. We get a stoppage.
Yeah, and on that last play, it went through 2 engineer skates, both Laka and Gornell, on the outlet pass. 4:47 to go in the third period. RPI up 6-2, and they've done a pretty good job of, like you said, just controlling play and keeping their not giving the Golden Griffins any hope of coming back.
Face-off, and engineer was tossed from the dot. Laka wins the face-off anyway. Moved in deep there by Ashbrook. Played by Melaragni. He gets it back on the return feed, carries across the center ice line, dumps it in. There's a collision behind the goal as Babachuk slow to get up, but moved out and dumped in by Linden. Now Canisius trying to clear, can't get it past Kjellberg, who fans on the shot. He'll be dumped into the near corner of the RPI zone. Bear takes a hit, picked up by Linden. Carried through center. Here is Tuur Linden on the move. Shot comes headed high and wide. It'll be held onto by Barcheski, who holds on. I haven't heard this song in a while. 3:51 left in the third, 6-2 RPI. You ever see Night at the Roxbury?
I have not.
No, you should. You'd get this. You get the.
I'll add it to my list, Perry.
All right. You have
I have a list of movies that I have to see.
Who gives you most of these movies?
Coach Lynch.
I was going to say that'd be my first guess. Is
Yeah.
John would say, "You haven't seen this. You have to see this, John."
Yeah.
Is that what he says?
Coach is a big fan of Something About Mary.
This is in the same vein. This is in the same
Okay.
same kind of. It's Will Ferrell.
Night at the Roxbury.
Night at the Roxbury, yeah. And Chris Kattan. They turned a somewhat they turned a SNL sketch that could really only last like 2 or 3 minutes before you get completely tired of it into a full-length feature movie. So obviously,
sounds right up your alley,
obviously it's good. All right, great soundtrack. Anyway, I feel like 90s dance. Anyway, here's a shot comes in, goes wide. Kjellberg gonna whack it down low. Leppinen pried away by Jestro. Down the middle they come. Graval near side. Mastrodonato takes a shot. Rebound loose in front. He'll pick it up again. Mastrodonato turning and shooting. It's blocked by Dubinsky. Now Leppinen a chance. Near side Dubinsky. Dubinsky a shot. And it gets the stick of Barcheski on his way into the netting.
Savory kicking the puck out there, maybe trying to pick up another assist on the odd man rush. And it's good for him for scoring a point tonight, because he's played phenomenal where he's supposed to as a netminder, but also getting a couple points doesn't hurt.
Back to the point, wrist shot, no, dumped to the corner. Played around behind for Jerry. Jerry trying to lean on his man, Melaragni. Pinching in is Johnson. And Long is there, as well as Hamlin, who shoots it around. Kept in, shot coming. That was blocked down by Long. He'll fire to center off the stick of Martin, and now played near side. Jerry Morello dumps it in. Steve wrapped up by Polino. Steve will clear high in the air off the glass. Played by Riley. Good to see him out there moving around. I know he came back to the bench, but now Shell in the ice making plays. Now Babichuk tried a little toe drag in the defensive zone. You gotta want to try to avoid that if you can. Does get the benefit of getting the puck back. Now the pass from Riley is behind Laka, but he beats out the icing. Tremendous hustle there. Gornell trying to center, hit the stick on his way through. He had Ashbrook in front. The pass was broken up. 2:25 to play in the third. 6-2 RPI leading Canisius. That one hit something in the bench, I think, or played with a high stick, sure. 2:21 to go, 6-2 RPI.
And you mentioned Laka beating out the icing, and you know, for what the score is, he could have let off the gas and he could have just let it go, be an icing, and skate back down the other end real easy. But he's not. He went and he went full bore, and he went to beat out the icing and got another scoring chance because of it.
Face-off coming up in the RPI zone. There's a bit of a discussion here.
They're letting the clock wind down, it looks like.
Well, that's not. Is that? Oh, maybe they did it on purpose. I don't know. I don't know about this rule, where you can let the clock run. I guess we'll see. One back to the point. Shot was blocked, kicked, and moved out by the Engineers. Here's Lee, gets roughed up there. Does get it deep, however. Here's Alger. Near side for Wareham. He'll shoot it in. Hallbauer waits for it. He'll slap it to the far half wall. Burgess sitting on a hat trick. Shoots it up the boards. Bouncing puck, glove down over there by Jestro. Burgess trying to move through the check of Hoover. That doesn't work out for him. Chipped into the RPI zone, and Miato trying to get there, but he's beaten to it by Hallbauer. They both go into the corner. Puck comes free. Picked off by Lappinen. 1:23 to go. Fed far side. Shot comes in over the top as Barcheski reacted to the high shot. Comes out of the zone. RPI's got a touch up. Canisius has it anyway. As moved in by Hamlin. Centering pass broken up. Good defensive position by Johnson there. Bouncing puck in center. Burgess can't hold that. Now Earn turns towards his own zone. Finds Hamlin. 1 minute left in this one. Kicked ahead. Here's Pogue into the zone. Makes a move on his backhand. Goes behind the goal. J.D. Pogue round to the near side. To the point. Sent across. A lot of room in the circle. Shot coming. Saved by Savory on the glove as he denies Meloragni there.
RPI doing a good job sticking to the basics there. Leppinen pushing the screener out of the way so that Savory could get a clean look at the shot. And the fans now chanting Savory to the tune of "We Will Rock You." Excitement in the field house.
Face-off here, won by the Engineers. Pass was behind the intended target, but it's on goal. Barcheski's going to cover. We'll get another whistle. 36.5 left. Still 6-2 Engineers.
Billy Jerry discussing a lot there with Brady Ferner, maybe trying to get that first goal.
Face-off here in the RPI zone. They win it. Polino trying to center. Morello, a jam try. They score! The puck just crept in past Barcheski. It's 7-2, and Morello's got 2 on the night.
So maybe Jerry was just looking to set up another one of his own guys. Win the face-off draw, get it towards the net, and let Morello do the rest.
Draw here at center. And we get a whistle, puck hopped out of play.
So Canisius really trying to figure out what to do next weekend, because if I'm them, I'm not sure I can blame either goaltender. I don't think that's the solution.
Well, no, this is not professional hockey. You get what you got here. Someone's going to have to find a foothold if you're the Golden Griffins and play well between the pipes. They're going to have a good year. Swatted back. Ferner's back to pick it up. 4 seconds to go. They'll run out the rest of the clock behind the goal. That'll do it for this one.
And all the engineers going over to congratulate Owen Savory. And certainly early in the game, he was the difference maker for RPI. He was able to make several sprawling saves when RPI easily could have been a tied game for Canisius. They were playing well. They were getting scoring chances. They were getting chances on the power play. And Savory was able to keep them out of the net and keep them with a lead. And then the RPI offense really just, it's nice to see them playing like this early in the season. And it's guys that it's not the same guys every week. I mean, Burgess and Morello getting their first 2 goals of the season, both of them here tonight. Lepinen getting his first goal of the season as well. And so that's really awesome to see that it's the entire roster, all 4 lines. It's not just 1 or 2 guys that are putting the puck in the net. And Polino continuing, he had another one tonight here, so he's got 3 goals on the season. But really really strong effort, I believe, in all facets of the game. Early they had a couple chances that the RPI had a couple chances where they gave up an odd man rush, and but Savory was able to bow them out. And later on, you didn't see too much of that. So yep. they were able to fix the mistakes in their game.
Absolutely right. And the third period, you talked about the engineers had to be good. They didn't have to necessarily outscore Canisius in the third, and they did 2-1. But they didn't have to. They outshot them 12-8. It was a good third period for RPI. They got another power play goal, that time from Burgess. They had 1 power play goal in each period. They finished 3 out of 6. That's not right. 3 out of 6 in the game with 10 power play shots, and their power play continues to work at a very high rate. It was 30% coming in, and it's going to go up from there. Running down the scoring in this game, I'll do it here. Matt Long got things started for Canisius at 5:12 of the first from Logan Gestro and Blake Wareham. RPI tied it up at 9 minutes. Joe's coming up with his offensive and defensive engineers right now, I hope.
Oh, yeah.
He is. Power play goal from Brady Ferner at 9 minutes from Jake Morello and Patrick Polino. They were involved in a lot of scoring tonight. 14:03, RPI took the lead for good. Todd Burgess is first of the year, first of the game from Jacob Laka and Brady Ferner. Then Patrick Polino on the power play at 7:42 of the second, made it 3-1. Lepinen and Riley with the assist there. Then it was Morello who made it 4-1 from Polino at 14:23. Lepinen from Dubinsky at 17:58 of the second, made it 5-1. Austin Elger got the Golden Griffins on the board again at 9:19 of the third, make it 5-2. But 2 straight goals at the end of the game. Burgess and Morello again, 12:53 and 19:31, made it 7-2. Offensive and defensive engineers, Joe.
For offense, it could have been a lot of guys, but I think it's going to go with Burgess again. He just had 2 really powerful plays that you get from a power forward. He was able to put the puck into the back of the net. But Polino, another guy that also had some strong chances, he was able to get a goal himself on the power play and had 2 beautiful assists for the Morello goals. On defense, it's got to go to Owen Savory. He was phenomenal tonight. He faced 30 shots, and he stopped 28 of them. And again, a lot of them were, especially earlier in the game, they were plays where it was 3-on-1 or 2-on-0, and he was able to keep it out of the back of the net and really swing the momentum into the RPI favor. It was really a strong play from Owen Savory. It was a strong play from Owen Savory all game, and he was even able to get assists of his own. So Owen Savory gets defense, and Patrick Polino and Todd Burgess get offensive engineers of the game. We'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding and support for WRPI and all club-related activities of the union. We also would like to thank Matt, who was our inboarder tonight back at the station. So thank you for sending this through the feed and getting us on the airwaves. Matt from WRPI. And coming to you tonight, I'm Joseph Pisacano, joined by Perry Lascaris. We thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to having you guys listen to us for the rest of the season here as RPI ends the weekend with an overall record of 2-2, and they finished the weekend 1-1. After losing 5-1 last night to UConn, they pummeled Canisius tonight 7-2, and if you're Dave Smith, that's got to feel good going up against your former school. You were able to really show what you got in the team here, and props to him and props to RPI hockey. That'll do it tonight here from the Houston Fieldhouse. Again, I'm Joseph Pisacano, and we were joined by Perry Lascaris.